You know, got to give him that much. He let me play drums in the house. That's my train. Now I got to go on to the next fantastic voyage into my father's brain. Gotta go.
Mark has finally summoned the courage to face something he's been putting off for years.
My father died when I was 19. My sister died several years later, and my mom died soon after she did. And at that point, I had to go out and clean out the family house. I boxed up a whole bunch of stuff of my father's. It's all been sitting under my house all these years, and I haven't ever looked at any of it. You know, it's a painful world to open up.
So how long have these boxes been here?
They've been here like 8 years.
For Hugh Everett's biographer, Peter Byrne, this is an eagerly anticipated scientific goldmine, but could also provide Mark with some new clues about his father.
Wow, man. This is a really cool basement.
It's a little dusty.
Wow. Well, there's
Where do you want to start?
treasure trove here. Well, why not just, you know, work, as they say, linearly. Start with
that one over there, the
one
plastic.
we started there,
yeah.
and then come back and start like looking at the work papers and work
Okay.
our way that way. You know?
All right. It's another rock and roll party Saturday for me.
This is footnotes to a quantum mechanics paper.
This is the kind of stuff I would always see him writing at the dining room table. It would look like this stuff, which looks like another language to me.
Yeah, that's linear algebra. Quantum mechanics is the language that they use for it. That's a really good photo, man.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like bushy-tailed and bright-eyed.
Yeah, it didn't last long. Then no one took him seriously, and he lost the fire in his eyes.
Well, yeah. How would you like to invent like one of the coolest things of all time and have people go,
Happens every time I put an album out.
Oh yeah, definitely. Cool. This looks like
Ooh,
tapes.
tapes.
Yeah, who knows what's on there, man? That's going to be amazing to listen to that. Just who knows what's on there?
The bad news is I remember dropping his dictaphone in the tub once when I was a kid.
Really?
And ruining it, but hopefully that's not the same one that I ruined. But I don't know if I'd recognize his voice, to be honest with you, because besides the fact that it's been 25 years since he died, I didn't hear him speak much in the 18 or 19 years I lived in the house with him, so it'll probably sound weird to me to hear his voice. Oh,
there you go.
Let's see if it works. That didn't sound good. This might be the one I dropped in the tub when I was a kid.
For such an important scientist, archive material of Hugh is surprisingly scarce. There are very few photographs of him and no known film footage. These dictaphone tapes might be the only recording ever made of Hugh's voice.
I think we're shit out of luck on this for today. All right, I'll get my people on this.
Okay.
One of my roadies can probably figure this one out.
This universe isn't what it worked, you know.
Hey man, what? Take this. Well, I went walking out yesterday. A man was carrying a sign that says, the world is gonna end tomorrow. Hey buddy, got a nickel I can borrow. This rotten world's gonna chew you up.
After the Boer debacle in the late 1950s, Hugh was disillusioned with the academic world. What was a genius quantum mechanic going to do? Well, it was also the height of the Cold War, and the American military was on a recruiting drive for bright young things. Hugh signed up.
Hey man.
I'm going to the Pentagon, which I, again, never saw myself going to in my lifetime. I don't think I've ever been there. I don't think Dad ever took me there for Daddy-son work day. All I remember was that we had a teletype in the basement. It was directly connected to the Pentagon that was always spitting out all these important messages about the world's about to blow up. Please wake up.
This round world gives you what you lack. Let's rock.
At the Weapons System Evaluation Group, Hugh could avoid the draft and earn a top salary. He joined some of the brightest minds in the country in military research.
This round world gonna chew you up, swallow you whole.
I'm standing here where, like, generals make speeches. What kind of kooky world is this? It also makes you ask, how good is the security? If they let me in here, you know? Because I'm loco. All right, back to business. First question, ABC.
One of Hugh's documents has been declassified. Called the Radioactive Fallout Project, it analyses the chilling effects of nuclear war between the Soviet Union and the US.
Hi, George.
Oh, hi.
Hi, long time no see.
Hugh's colleague on this project was nuclear physicist Dr. George Pugh.
I think the last time I remember really meeting you was a couple of times at your home. At the time, you were busy getting better and better playing the drums.
That's right.
Because of their research, Hugh and George could warn President Eisenhower that the military had completely underestimated the devastation of World War III.
Do you think my father had any moral issues working for the government? You weren't a couple of trigger-happy guys with the fate of the world at your hand.
After we briefed Eisenhower, there was a gradual shift in U.S. policy not to build so many 20 megaton weapons as they were doing, and for God's sakes not to go to 100 megaton weapons, which they never did.
So you guys really made a positive difference in the world by doing
I think
that.
we really did.
Yeah.
It was a darn good thing somebody did what we did.
Yeah, I'll say.
But it wasn't all bomb talk. The fact that his brilliant theory had been banished to the archives was still close to Hugh's heart.
I think it was ahead of its time. As a matter of fact, he and I agreed that it was ahead of its time.
Now it's 50 years later, so it was like 50 years ahead of its time. Isn't it amazing that there's a term, Everettian?
Yes, I saw that.
Some physicists are Everettians, some aren't Everettians. I might try to get my music fans to start calling
I'd like
themselves
to hear your
Everettians.
band sometime.
I think you'd like it. It's sort of Everettian rock.
Uh-huh.
Life ain't pretty for a dog-faced boy. Life ain't pretty for a dog-faced boy. I won't shame me, Jesus can't save me, dog-faced boy.
Hugh left the Pentagon in 1964, taking with him $1 million worth of government contracts. He became the president of a private company which pioneered computerized nuclear war games that would be used by the military for decades to come. His business grew, and then something unexpected occurred.
Today is a lovely day to run. Start up the car with the sun.
In May 1977, Hugh packed up the family and drove them to Austin. He'd been invited to give a lecture at the University of Texas. Things were stirring in the quantum world. Hugh's theory had started to be referenced in articles and books. There was a real buzz about parallel universes amongst a number of young physicists.
He was a kind of star at the conference.
For shy young physicist David Deutsch, later to become Britain's leading expert on quantum mechanics, it was a terrific opportunity to learn about the theory from its creator.